So for those of you who are learning how to stack, I'm going to show you guys a trick on how to stack. First of all, know the formation, so eventually you're going to just start off with a T. You go 3 benches, 1, 2, 3, and then you need to be able to get these, the template, this is called the template, these stacked on top of benches. Now the only way how you do that is by snapping it or by eyeballing it. I prefer you snap it. So what you do is you snap it like so, where, let's see, you have the T ready. I'm just going to do it right here. You got the T ready. Okay, we go again. T is ready. You need to get a second bench right here. I actually made a video on this before. You gotta eyeball this one. You can't really snap it. I don't know what happened to the snapping method for the second one without having any sort of thing to actually snap it to. So eyeball it. So there's a tiny little hair over. So from the leg to the edge of the thing, the edge of the bench. And then you snap this tall stool. You're only gonna be using tall stools. To the middle of that, and then you're gonna make another bench. Snap it to the tall stool. You see how there's a tiny little overlap right here? Snap another tall bench to the top of the snap a tall stool to the top of the bench. Then you're gonna go 2 benches to snap it. You gotta kind of get up to be able to have some sort of angle on it, like so. Do it again, and voila! Now you have the template done. Destroy the tall stools, only the tall stools, and now you do this. 1, 2, wait for them to build up, and then, because this is where the layers go. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys right here. This is a layer. You see how we have 1 stack right here? Okay. So you just repeat that whole process over and over and over. So yeah, now we just snap everything so it's nice and adjacent to it all, so that it keeps a nice, cute layout. Like so. Sometimes you have to re-snap it for the snapping method to, or mechanic to actually listen to your command. And then when it comes to the format of these, okay, make sure that the 2 tiles out, 2 benches out, stacked up. 1 less than your topmost bench. Okay. And then you always want to go center, empty, empty, center, empty, empty, center, empty, empty, center. That's the pattern because they don't overlap. So if you accidentally build it and you miscounted, then you're out of luck. You gotta kind of restart. You see how it's kind of tedious, right? Now I am a low level. I'm doing this on my low level account, and I'm gonna show you guys some neat trick to learn after I'm done with this one section, because you're gonna be able to build outwards all the way out this way. Okay, but you can't start it off like this. You can't pretend that it's gonna work like this, because it's not. You can't just do this, because if we look at the plot itself, you see how it's a little bit longer than a bench? You see, so what you're going to be doing is snapping that perpendicular, that horizontal bench against this edge in the future. Okay, so that's why I just wanted to, you know, emphasize that you have to follow the guide to be able to truly learn and understand how it works. Now obviously you can go as high as you want, but, you know, in order to go higher on the snapping benches, you'd have to, you know, build up like that. Build up all the way, but then the only issue is that sometimes the pals are able to access the top crop, because if they don't, then you as a player has to go up into the top crop and pick up all the loot. So you have to go up top here, and I don't want to do that because I like to AFK my stacked plantations. Okay, so that's done. We're gonna have him build that, and now we're gonna get into our main event. Okay. Put the top one down, aim your crosshairs to the bench layer directly below it, and snap to the horizontal bench. Make sure you do it correctly, because if you don't, then you're doomed. Literally doomed. Now, when it gets to the lower ones, it gets kind of challenging. Oh, I'm out of that, whatever. Yeah, you see how it's having difficulty snapping. I do have a little bit better luck aiming at the bottom ones, so to speak. And now, when it comes to the one down here, it gets pretty challenging. So just make sure that you have enough, like, fortification, foundation, to be able to snap it. Destroy the bottom ones. I actually need more of my onion plantations. And this is where it's gonna get kind of tricky right there. Boom, easy. So that one's done. Now, I'm gonna show you guys how to snap the next one. Snap the next layer up. You see how that snapped directly perfect to it? Make sure it's directly perpendicular. And voila. And it gets actually a little bit easier being able to snap the future benches on top. If you're able to get it in. But you see how it's kind of like against the edge? It might not work at this point, so I need to snap it a little bit farther out. You see that tiny blue line back there? Yeah, that's the snapping. So I'm gonna just go a little bit farther out. You see how it snaps? It's the second layer, third layer, fourth layer. And I'm gonna go one more. The fifth layer. Now we make the little platforms for how it's gonna stick on, how the crops are gonna go on top. So this is the bottom, well, the second to bottom, I guess. See how easy this is? Just need a lot of patience when you're first starting out on your first batch, I guess, so to speak. And boom. Now we make another one. Just need to get these guys out the way. Voila. Face away, crouch down, go to the second row. Crouch down, second row. And now we destroy this one. And you gotta be careful when you're, if it's not snapped correctly and you accidentally destroyed like a floor that's very close to this, there is an outside invisible radius of what can be built nearby these structures. Okay, this is where it's gonna get a little bit tricky. Oh, I didn't destroy it yet. See how it's clicking to the wrong thing? Now this one's gonna be even trickier right here. Boom. Takes a lot of patience, a lot of practice, but you see how we got the second one. Now if you're ever questioning if I'm right or not, watch this. It's gonna snap directly, and you see how it's like practically next to it, okay? So, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you need any help understanding this any further, please let me know. One thing to note is that if I were to do this again, I would not have this part in here. I would in fact destroy this area right here, but keep the alignment so that the pals, when they come in and plant, they can come into the middle, face this way, face that way, plant, harvest, blah blah blah, water. Okay, so it's like an open alleyway, you know, like an aisle at the store. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now you can make this as small as you'd like, believe it or not. But if you're gonna do another like crop, you would move this over one so that you're able to have at least some sort of, you know, some sort of area for the pals to traverse and walk. But yeah, I mean, if they can touch it, then it's gonna work. But you don't want too many of them getting stuck. That's the main issue. You're here. Make sure you hit it correctly. You see how it's not clicking? I don't know why it doesn't click. So that would actually be very problematic if I had built like a platform on top. So I'm gonna do this again, but So this is where it should have gone, but I'm gonna go over one. Okay. Because I do want there to be some sort of walkway for them to go through. Okay. But it doesn't have to necessarily be that way. Because they can kind of go through it. I just like to have... Like, this is what it would look like right here. Like, this is a good enough amount of space. Because if not, then they would only have, like, this much space to walk. But now they have this whole area to walk. So that means that they don't get stuck. And you don't want them to get stuck, because then it's going to clog up your resources. Your PC's going to freeze and whatnot and crash. Because there's just too many crops on the floor. Like, I remember I went AFK last night on my main world for about 6 hours. I went to sleep. And you know what happened? I came back to like 300k onions. And half of them was not deposited into my refrigerator. Or my cold food storage box. So, a lot of issues there. Anyways, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like after. Let's go with, oh, you know what? I actually need more lettuce. No, I need more tomatoes. So I'm gonna crouch. I'm gonna face this way. Because I don't want to accidentally destroy the previous one. Okay, now it's getting kind of tricky. Like so. See how fast that took me? Once you get good at it, it'll be a lot easier. And if you ever want to like double check if you have enough room before you follow through with all the benches, just get out your template of either one of these, all of these except for the berries are where it really shines. And then make sure that the T is 2 benches outwards. Now you see if it can fit or not. So this can fit, and you see how there's barely any room next to it. You know, I don't even think I can fit through there, to be honest. But you see, you can make this as long as you want to. It can be like a nice looking maze, or you can be like one alleyway, one aisle, and 2 of them next to each other, and then another aisle, and then 2 of them next to each other, and blah blah blah. And eventually they're going to be able to do it. So here's another tip, the last bit of this. You want to make sure that you have access to some sort of storage unit where they can deposit their goods. Okay, either a food box or an ice box. I like to do the refrigerator box because they're pretty cheap. They don't use up much electricity, and then they have a lot of storage. And this is only specifically towards if you don't have like enough, I don't know, and you're not high enough level for the code food box. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. My name is Jess. Please like and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace. Bye.